TV for 800?
In the theme to this 90s sitcom, I pulled up to the house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabbie, "Yo, Holmes, smell you later." Encore.
What is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yep.
Remind us never to hear Alex Trebek say "Yo, Holmes" in any capacity once again. That was just unsettling.
That was profoundly disturbing.
It was "Yo, Holmes."
I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight.
Well, he was doing Snagglepuss, doing the Fresh Prince. I mean,
Snagglepuss Rock.
Exit.
Stage left.
Alex Trebek is Wonder Bread. Okay, welcome back to the Daily Wrap. It's time for Yea or Nay. First up, Texas Senator Ted Cruz sat down with NBC's Savannah Guthrie to discuss last week's historic Supreme Court rulings on both Obamacare and same-sex marriage, a time which the senator has called some of the darkest days in American history, where he says the justices violated their oath to protect the Constitution. But when Guthrie asked Cruz about allowing state clerks to deny marriage licenses to couples based on their own religious beliefs, the conversation, well, it took an interesting turn.
If a state clerk refused to issue a marriage license to an interracial couple, would you agree with that too?
Well, there's no religious backing for that.
But opponents of interracial marriage did use religion as their reasoning.
You say it should be left to states. Would you have taken that same position in the case of interracial marriage, that that's not a constitutional right and the states should have been free to ban interracial marriage if they wanted to?
Of course not. And we fought a bloody civil war.
What's the difference in those two cases?
It is exactly what I said, that we fought a bloody civil war over the original sin of our country, that was slavery.
Okay, yea or nay, is war the only way to legitimize a cause?
No.
No, of course not. If anything, his argument is if we had a civil war over gay marriage, he'd be in favor of it. It's so backwards. It's
Rick, I'm going to build a crescendo to Heather and you.
Okay.
It gets it's complicated. He's wrong. No, the answer to that is no. But it gets very complicated. It goes back to the same issue we were talking about again. No one knows how to answer it. It's when you take religion versus the right to marriage, it becomes really difficult.
You know, saying that Ted Cruz is right about anything is almost as upsetting to me as listening to Alex Trebek rap. But he actually was right, although there were some people who did use, biblical interpretations, to be against interracial marriages. It wasn't real. These arguments are real, so he was right about that. Beyond that, though, people who like Ted Cruz, you might want to take a really close look at what he just pulled on the trade agreement. It is remarkable.
Okay, we'll have to take a
look
look at that.
Talk about for it before he was against it. He wasn't just for it before he was against it. He was for it, and then he just killed everybody who was for it.
Interesting.
I mean,
could be a potluck tomorrow night. We'll see. I do like Savannah in those glasses, though. I will say that. Anyway, let's move on to some news from the final frontier, shall we? Video has surfaced online of what appears to be 3 UFOs shooting out of the Earth's atmosphere. The UFO, or O's in this case, those 3 gray dots you see moving across the screen, okay, they went away, were captured in NASA's live transmission from the International Space Station, but that was right before that transmission was cut off. Okay, very serious here. I'm into this. Are UFOs real? And I'm asking that as a serious question. Do you believe that? Yes or no?
I believe there's more going on than we can currently measure.
Okay, good answer.
I would agree with that, and I think John Podesta, one of the Clintons,
he wants to see if
I mean, he definitely. There's people who know things that we don't know.
Yes, I completely agree with it. And if you look at evidence, particularly coming from people flying airplanes and some of their reports on what they've seen, there's a lot more to this than anybody wants us to know.
Wow. Okay. I totally believe in it, completely. And Independence Day 2 comes out next summer. Anyway, finally, while we're on the topic of space, news out today from the Russian Federal Space Agency that a Russian cosmonaut has set a new record for the most time spent in space at one time, 803 days in all. When he finally returns to Earth next September, the record will be even longer, having spent a total of 877 days, or 2.5 years in space. That breaks the old record held by American astronaut Rick Edward Unger, who was up there, I think, for 10 years or something, but he didn't age. He stopped the aging process. Anyway, panel, thank you so much.
Talk about avoiding your landlord.
I'm Joe Concha, Newsmax Prime with J.D. Hayward. That's next.